Good morning. It is the fourth Friday of the month, but not the last Friday of the month. That's the important part. It's Friday, August 22nd. It's the Automotive State of the Union. I'm Paul J. Daly, and he's back. The one and only Kyle Mountsier.
Let's go.
But I will say, Steve Greenfield and I had a whole lot of fun yesterday.
Oh, man.
We watched videos of robots. It was
Steve's
great.
a full professional. It doesn't even matter. I understand. I understand.
He was telling us about how many places in the globe he'll be traveling in Q3 and Q4. Like everywhere.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, you should just get a London headquarters. He's like, that sounds really good.
Oh wow. Like that many global places.
Oh yeah. He's like, I'm going to Finland, Germany twice, this place, that place, to China. It's like
he is the authority on the automotive retail business.
He's just
on mobility.
Started.
He's the authority on mobility. It's
just getting global mobility. All right. We have another webinar coming up. I want to talk about the last one we did was amazing. This next one is with our friends at V Auto, mining your misses to make deals and win inventory with Patrick Janes of V Auto and Adam Claiborne of the Mike Shaw Kia store. This is Wednesday, September 10th. So you have a few weeks for this one.
Yeah.
But still, if you don't want to forget about it because September starts and you forget everything when your kids go back to school and the whole thing. Just go to asoda.com, sign up now. It'll show up. You'll remember in like 2 or 3 weeks. You're like, oh yeah, this one. I wanted to see it. Next week, though, it's Wheels Up for me and you. Kyle is going to be Wheels Up to have some time with his family, which is amazing.
I'm very excited about that. It's much needed.
And I get to go to one of our, I don't know. I'm going to Vegas with our good friend Erroll Bomar III.
One of our favorite things is NAMAD. Vegas is like, okay.
It's not on the few of my favorite things list, but it's going to be great because the people are going to be there.
That's right.
I get to hang out with our friend Erroll. You know, Erroll from the NADA live stage did a bunch with us at AsodaCon. We're hosting a podcast. We have a podcast desk. We're going to be there talking to people, bringing you live coverage from the event. So make sure you tune in next week as Erroll and I cover the National Association of Minority Auto Dealers annual membership meeting. That's a really long name. But what I will say is it's the highest concentration, I think, from dealers to industry partners in any industry or in any event across the industry.
Easy. Per square foot, it crushes.
And they know how to have fun. And they always are ready to talk and share insights. So we're going to be bringing you all that. Thanks to our friends at Mia for making all of it possible.
Amazing.
All right, let's talk about some news, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, I think this one's finally getting to the ground. I think.
All right. Here we go.
The whole auto industry is watching closely as the U.S. and the EU hammer out the framework deal that could bring massive tariff relief for European automakers. The fine print could mean big savings and new market access. Basically, the EU and U.S. announced the framework aiming to reduce U.S. auto tariffs from 27.5% all the way down to 15%. It would be retroactive back to August 1st if the EU introduces enabling this legislation this month. In exchange, the EU pledged to cut tariffs on U.S. industrial goods and increase access for American agricultural products. It may expand to include mutual recognition of auto safety standards and influence future U.S. agreements with Japan and South Korea. So pretty consequential. EU Trade Commissioner Marcos Sefcovic emphasized the urgency. He said it is the European Commission's firm intention to make proposals by the end of this month. So it's like landing gears down. Maybe we won't have to talk about this anymore. I sure hope.
Well, it's interesting because this is actually the first one that so much has kind of been fleshed out and made public from a tariff agreement perspective. So it's going to set, it's like any legal thing that kind of sets the standard or any agreement that sets the standard for the next ones to come. And we know that there's tariff negotiations across many countries right now that the administration is working toward. Obviously massive whenever we're talking about Europe or Asia and its relationship to the auto industry. So heads up there, but looks like the path is definitely good for automakers. And we've been talking about the last few weeks, the billions of dollars of losses that could be hitting the automakers' bottom line that are kind of getting swallowed up. So this is eyes wide open for this one.
Speaking of the bottom line,
stop. Segue
time. It's earnings season. Everybody knows that. Sonic Automotive just dropped its Q2 2025 earnings. And while a hefty impairment charge dented their bottom line, their performance definitely is staying bullish. A lot of it having to do with EchoPark, which we know is the struggling used car brand over the years. Their total revenue is up 6% year over year, but EchoPark led the charge with $62.1 million in gross profit, which is up 22% year
Wow.
over year, and a 679% increase in adjusted segment income, meaning they're making a lot more than they were. They were losing money. They were doing real bad,
Wild.
actually, and they've turned it around. Sonic president Jeff Dyke said, quote on the call, EchoPark is just on fire.
Well, I think this is a byproduct of some of the things that we're seeing with Carfax and Carvana in shoppers starting to like maybe overcome the gap of early adoption and pick up some of these broader used car brands that are national. You start to just see like more people adopt that type of interaction, and EchoPark was poised to kind of take advantage of that. There's also some things around development and attention to the digital ecosystem of EchoPark that kind of finalized a little over a year ago. So you kind of like wrap, a cultural moment in technological advance, and all of a sudden you get accelerated bottom line. So kudos to Sonic and EchoPark for taking advantage of that.
They're also doing some fun stuff with experience centers. They're like changing the vibe and the mentality of how they're bringing people in. I'm curious to see when the first public company like EchoPark, we were talking yesterday about we know Amazon partnered with Hyundai. Then yesterday we talked a lot about Hertz partnering directly with Amazon to sell their vehicles direct to consumer instead of sending the wholesale auctions. I'm wondering if a player like EchoPark is the next big one to strike a deal with Amazon as a third party, because they kind of have this big used car leverage. So we'll see, because I think EchoPark might be faster to do it than like a Carvana. It might be a good competitive edge to, get on some of Carvana's space that way. So we'll see what happens, but
definitely could be.
Movers be moving.
Movers be moving.
Speaking of moving.
Stop. Segue.
Time.
Consumers are moving as Adobe reports that a massive 4,700% year-over-year increase in U.S. retail site traffic has been driven primarily by GenAI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini. Clear signal that AI is transforming the retail journey. What question that we've all had, and obviously Adobe is a big tracker of a lot of site sources and their tracking management. This is all growth since the 2024 holiday season. 90% of users say they trust GenAI recommendations. And here's the key thing. When users come from GenAI, bounce rates are down 27%, meaning people are staying in. I think there's some other things that I've got to talk about on that, but visits from AI referrals are 10% more engaged with 32% longer durations. The conversion gap between AI and non-AI traffic has shrunk down from 49% in January to 23% in July. So there's a little bit less conversion. It looks like early shopping, but that gap is shrinking. Adobe's Vivek Pandya said it's allowing a very optimized, urgent, efficient journey.
I have a very personal story that I can tell about this as of yesterday.
Go.
So I bought my wife for her birthday the Remarkable Paper Pro, like that Remarkable tablet. And she still hasn't gotten a case for it. And I'm like, you got to get a case for that. You got to, it usually stays home. It's on her desk. So she doesn't travel a lot. And she sends me a link yesterday to like this beautiful leather case. It was like top grade. It was so nice. She's like, is this good? I was like, that's an amazing case. You should get that. And then later that night, we were having dinner last night. I was like, oh, where'd you find that? Because I had been looking for cases and I never saw that one. She goes, oh, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And she's like, I told it what I wanted. And she goes, it was the first place it sent me. And I loved it. And I bought it.
Yeah. You know what's crazy? I read a source a couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday, where they ran like over 100,000 searches on anything from retail to information. And there's kind of been this argument, like, is GPT just a glorified Google search engine? And the crazy results were sometimes the results that GPT picks up for a given search aren't even in the first 10 pages of the same search done by Google or Bing.
Outrageous.
So you start to see these like variances in what's going to create shopping behavior. Also, GPT is tuned to pick up site crawlability and speed, which means that there's probably great user information available on that site, and the site is easy to navigate because all that these AI models want is lower costs to
low
their
compute,
right?
Yeah.
And so that's why you're going to see lower bounce rates, higher engagement, longer durations because of quality information when they get there, and an easy to navigate site. So you're not just optimizing for the AI, but the AI is actually exhibiting more human behaviors than maybe we would even think.
How about that? Our good friend Ben Hadley, CEO of AutoGenius, says, his little prompt of the day, it looks like he's chiming in. Hey, ChatGPT, if I could only make one technical change to my dealership's website to maximize conversions, lower ad costs, and improve Google rankings, what should it be? There you go. Copy that right in there. Run it on your website. Do whatever you want. But,
see what happens.
Ben's got a couple things rattling around in his brain from time to time. They're always pretty fun and pretty insightful.
always good to.
Well, look, going in to the 4th weekend of a 5-weekend month. So you still got another lap to go. Go in there, make it count, take care of some people, enjoy some summer weather, and we will see you here bright and early on Saturday morning. If you don't listen to Saturday, you should.